Alright, Bills Mafia, what is good? Welcome to the Week 2 game preview versus the Tennessee Titans. The Bills are coming for revenge, and they're gonna get it. Here's why. A couple things I want to talk about in today's video. I want to go through how the offense is gonna perform, how the defense will perform, 3 things to watch out for the Bills, 3 things to watch out for the Titans, 3 players to watch out for on the Titans, and some predictions at the end. Now, let's talk about the offense. We saw how they performed last game. It was very efficient. They had a couple mistakes with some costly interceptions and some unnecessary fumbles. I expect that to be a focus point in practice this week. They're going to work out those kinks and make sure that it doesn't happen going forward. However, we know that you're going to have turnovers. You're going to make mistakes. It's part of the game, but you just want to try and minimize that as much as you can. Now, for the game, I wouldn't necessarily expect Allen to have a huge stat line. That's not what I kind of envision for the Bills this week. I expect them to have a very run-heavy game this week. I expect it to be a huge factor. You know, you see what the Giants did to the Titans last week. Granted, Saquon is probably better than any of the running backs we have, but the Bills still have an efficient run game. When we're going deep in the playoffs, you need some sort of a run game, and you don't want them just all out focusing on the pass, because then they're not going to stack the box, or they're going to play too high safety. The earlier that the Bills can establish their run game, the better. I also believe that Allen's still going to have his way, even though I don't expect him to do crazy numbers. Like, he's still going to be efficient. He's still going to be the Allen that we know and love. Now, how's the defense going to do? We all know what we need to do. We all know what the defense needs to do. Really, the only thing they need to do is to contain Derrick Henry. That offense still runs through Derrick Henry. If you can key in on Henry and the run game and stop that, which they've done before. Granted, they've been ran on in the past, but they've also stopped Derrick Henry before. I haven't looked this one up, but I'm pretty sure they've contained Derrick Henry more than he's ran all over the Bills in the McDermott era. I think once you contain Derrick Henry, the defense will just have their way with the rest of them. Because if you stop the run, you stop the pass, you stop the play action, because then you know that play action isn't coming if they can't run the ball well. Let's start out with things to watch out from Buffalo. This is the Bills' home opener of the 2022 season. The fans will be there. The momentum's going to be on their side. It's going to be a big game. Monday Night Football. Mafia, if you're there, you better be loud. Home advantage is a real thing, and I'm hoping the fans can help the Bills take advantage of it. Even if the Bills are on the road, the Mafia still comes through with the fans. Last week when the Bills were in LA, the Rams and Stafford had to go on a silent count because the Bills fans in there were so loud. Now imagine that times like 10. We're at home, we have 10 times as many fans there. It's going to be loud, and it's going to be a hard game for the Titans. Number 2, you got to watch out for Derrick Henry. I know I already talked about him, but he's Derrick Henry, man. I still wonder how he's going to continue to recover from that injury last year. He didn't have the greatest game against the Giants. Bunch of carries, 3.9 yards per carry. Not very efficient. Not the Derrick Henry that we know. But we know what he can do, and we know what he's done to us. So we just need to be careful. I know this team can craft a game plan to stop him. They've stopped Lamar in the Ravens run game. They've stopped the Titans before. They can do this. They can stop Derrick Henry. You just need Leslie Frazier to come through with the game plan and the defense to execute. Number 3, their D-line. They've got some ballers on that D-line. Jeffrey Simmons, Harold Landry. They're going to be rushing Allen all game long. Those guys in the Titans D-line have given the Bills some trouble in the past when they've played them. However, I'm pretty confident knowing how the Bills handled Aaron Donald last week. Even though Aaron Donald had a sack, he was still contained pretty much all game. Like with the Rams, if you can contain Aaron Donald, if you can contain this Titans D-line, their stars, those studs, you got a pretty good chance of winning the game. Granted, they're not on Aaron Donald's level, but they're still elite top-end pass rushers, and they can get the job done, and there's something to watch out for. Next up, we got the 3 problem players, 3 guys you might be watching out for, the top-end names, just some guys, you know? Number 1, we got Ryan Tannehill. We all know how he fared in the playoffs last year. He played like crap. I personally believe if they get the run game going well, if Derrick Henry starts going off and getting those big gains, that's when Ryan Tannehill is going to shine. He's going to shine off that play action, throwing the deep ball. He can still be an efficient quarterback, and for all the people saying, oh, Malik Willis better, no. Tannehill is still the starter. So if you can stop the run, you can stop Ryan Tannehill and the Titans. Number 2, Kevin Byard. Kevin Byard's one of the best safeties in the game alongside Poyer and Hyde, all those dudes. At times, Byard can be a ball hawk and pick you off when you least expect it. Allen needs to use his eyes this week to move Byard away from the play or the guy he wants to go after so he doesn't end up lurking the ball and picking it off. We've seen some pretty good eye manipulation or safety movement from Allen in the past, especially against the playoff game in the Colts where he launched it to Diggs. I don't know if you remember that. Cannot play the clip because it'll get copyrighted. And that goes for any of the secondary players. You know, they've got some good young corners. They've got some guys. Every team's got some guys. I do believe the Titans secondary is only going to continue to get better as the season goes along. Allen's going to be a tough test for them. Going to be one of the best quarterbacks they play all season. But I think Allen's going to pick on their young corners quite a bit when he gets the chance. But I still think the run game is the focus here in this game for the Bills. So let's see what Byard can do. Can he help stop the run? Can he stop the pass? We'll see. Number 3, Robert Woods. We all know he had a lackluster game last week. You know, he's a former Buffalo Bill. He really needs to step it up for the Titans this week. You know, they traded A.J. Brown in the offseason. They drafted Traylon Burks, who also didn't have a spectacular game. I expect Robert Woods to have a bounce-back game. You know, he's still a guy in this league. He's a top 25 receiver minimum. Like, he can still ball. If the Titans can get moving, I expect Robert Woods to get moving. I expect Derrick Henry to get moving. I expect Traylon Burks to get moving. We're not just going to be locked down, 0 points, shutout, no yards against every game. They're going to make plays. Guys are going to get open. They're going to score touchdowns. We're just going to have to live with that. Now, the best part, my favorite part, the stat line predictions, the score predictions. I am going to start with the stat line predictions here. I think Josh Allen's going to go for 24 for 32, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 picks. Like I said, nothing too crazy, nothing too minimal, just average. For Allen, of course. Devin Singletary, I have him going for 12 attempts, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's just, I think he's the lead back. I think he's going to have the best stats. But you're also going to get yards from Allen, Moss, Cook, maybe some jet sweeps with Isaiah McKenzie. Who knows? I think Gabe Davis is going to go off once again. 5 receptions, 110 yards, and a touchdown for Gabe. And as for the score of this game, I'm going to go with 36-20 Buffalo. Something about me picking 20 points for the opponent, I feel like that's a pretty average score. Like, that should be the bare minimum. Like, it's not often you're gonna get less, like, unless you're playing the Patriots or the Jets. Both those teams suck. Let's be honest with ourselves. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave your score predictions and your game predictions in the comments down below. On your way out, please subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. And as always, let's go Buffalo!